morning all of you. Today we will discuss about the chapter continuity and differentiability. We will take some board examination questions and solve one by one. So like one question we are taking, so that the function fx is equal to 2x minus mod of x is continuous and differentiable but not differentiable at x is equal to 0. We have to prove that this function is continuous at x is equal to 0 but not differentiable at x is equal to 0. So first we will check the continuity of the function. So for checking continuity of the function, we will find its left hand limit, right hand limit and value of the function at that point. If the left hand limit and right hand limit and value of the functions are equal, then we will say that this function is continuous at x is equal to 0. If we are getting that if these are not equal, then we can say that the function is not continuous at that point. Okay? So first we will check the limit continuity. So write for continuity at x is equal to 0. So left hand limit is limit x tends to 0 minus fx. Okay, so we write limit h tends to 0 f 0 minus h. Now limit h tends to 0, our function is 2x minus x mod x. So we write 2 0 minus h minus 0 minus h. So limit h tends to 0. So we write minus 2h minus 0 minus h in modulus. You know we write what it minus h. So it will be what? If we are putting the limit, we get what? 0. So left hand limit is 0. Okay. What we have done? Limit x tends to 0 fx. Limit h tends to 0. As we take h tends to 0, we write here 0 minus h. So limit h tends to 0, 0. We write at the place of x is what? 0 minus h minus modulus of 0 minus h. You know, after getting outside modulus, it will be positive. So we write minus this minus and this is positive h. So if we are putting limit h tends to 0, we get 0 minus 0, that is 0. Now we take right hand limit. So it will be what? 0. Now right hand limit will be what? Limit x tends to 0 plus fx. So we change it and x tends to 0, f0 plus h. Limit h tends to 0. We write 2 0 plus h minus 0 plus h. Limit h tends to 0. 2h minus, we get what? h. So we write limit h tends to 0 h, it will be 0. So left hand limit is 0 or right hand limit is 0. Now value of the function check. F of 0 is 0 minus 0, that is 0. So we are saying that left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f0, that is equal to 0. So our left hand limit at x is equal to 0, right hand limit is at x is equal to 0, and value of the function is at x is equal to 0. So our function is continuous at x is equal to 0. Okay, I hope you understand the continuity. So we can say that this function is continuous at x is equal to 0. Okay, now we will check the differentiability of the function, that this function is differentiable or not differentiable. So for checking differentiability of the function, we will find the left hand derivative and right hand derivative. Okay, so we find left hand derivative and right hand derivative. Our left hand derivative, we will find the left hand derivative with limit h tends to 0 fx plus x minus h minus fx divided by minus h, and right hand derivative limit h tends to 0 fx plus h minus fx divided by h. Okay, so we will check. Now we will check for differentiability. Now for differentiability at x is equal to 0. Now we will check this function is differentiable or not differentiable at x is equal to 0. So left hand derivative. Okay, so limit h tends to 0 f x minus h minus fx by h. Okay, now we have to check at x is equal to 0, so we replace this x and this x with 0. So we write limit h tends to 0 f 0 minus h minus f0 by h, and here will be minus. Okay, now put limit h tends to 0. We will write here 2 0 minus h minus 0 minus h minus f0 0 minus 0, and we get minus h. Now put limit h tends to 0, so it will be minus 2h, and here minus h, and it will be 0 by minus h. So we write what? Here will be minus 3h by minus h, so we get 3. Our left hand derivative is 3. Okay, what we have get here, our left hand derivative is 3. Now we find, so we are writing here left hand derivative is 3. What we have done, limit h tends to 0 fx minus h minus fx by minus h. This is the formula of finding left hand derivative. Now limit h tends to 0 f0 minus x h minus f0 divided by minus h. Limit h tends to 0 2 0 minus h minus 0 minus h minus 0 minus 0 divided by minus h. Now this term will be whole 0, and here minus 2h, and this will be positive h, so here minus h, so it will be minus 3h by h, so it will be 3. Now our right hand derivative is what? Our right hand derivative RHT. So it will be x plus h minus fx by h. So limit h tends to 0 f 0 plus h minus f0 divided by h. At x is equal to 0, we are checking the function is differentiable or not differentiable, so we replace it. So our limit h tends to 0, function is 2 0 plus h minus modulus of 0 plus h minus f0. Limit h tends to 0, 2h minus, this is h and this is 0 divided by h. Now limit h tends to 0, h by h, so it will be 1. So our right hand derivative is what? 1. And left hand derivative is 3. So left hand derivative is not equal to right hand derivative. So this function is not differentiable at x is equal to 0. From here we obtain that our left hand derivative and right hand derivative are not equal. So we can say that this function is not differentiable at x is equal to 0. But this function is continuous at x is equal to 0. Because the left hand limit and right hand limit and value of the function at x is equal to 0 is, we have checked already. So this function is continuous at x is equal to 0 but not differentiable at x is equal to 0. Okay. Now we will see the next question. Our function is find the value of p and q for which the function fx is equal to 1 minus sine cube x divided by 3 cos square x. If x is less than pi by 2 and p if x is equal to pi by 2 and q 1 minus sin x divided by pi minus 2x whole square if x is greater than pi by 2. A is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Then find the value of p and q. We have to given in this question that this function is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Then find the value of p and q. Okay, so this function is continuous. It means that its left hand limit and right hand limit and the value of the function will be equal. So we equate this. So first we find the left hand limit, and after that we find the right hand limit, and we find the value of the function at x is equal to pi by 2, that is p, and we equate this left hand limit, right hand limit and value of the function. Then from where we get our p and q. So let's find left hand limit. So left hand limit is limit h tend to 0 limit x tends to pi by 2 minus fx. Now limit h tends to 0 f pi by 2 minus h. Now limit h tends to 0. The value of x less than pi by 2 is this function. So we write 1 minus sine pi by 2 minus h whole cube divided by 3 cos pi by 2 minus x square. Okay, so limit h tends to 0, 1 minus sin 90 minus theta is cos theta, so we write 1 minus cos h cube and 3 cos 90 minus theta is sin theta, sin square okay, sin square h. Now what we will do, limit h tends to 0. Here we applied a formula a cube minus b cube. It will be what? A minus b in first bracket, in second bracket a square plus b square plus ab divided by 3 and this is sin square h. Now what we will write it, limit h tends to 0, 1 minus cos x, we can write 2 sin square h by 2 and 1 plus 2 sin square h by 2, and here we will take the limit here, what, in the upper side and in the lower side we get now we can write this 1 minus cos x and 1 plus cos square x cos square h plus cos h divided by 3. We can write this sin square x is 1 minus cos square h and limit h tends to 0. We can write again what, 1 minus cos x and 1 plus cos square h plus cos h divided by 3, 1 minus cos h, 1 plus cos h. This can be written as a square minus b square, so it will be cancelled, and we will now put the limit. What we get, 1 plus cos 0 3, 1 plus cos 0. We get 1 plus 1 plus 1 and 3 into 2. So we get 3 by 2 into 1 by 2. And our left hand limit will be 1 by 2. Okay. So our left hand limit is what, 1 by 2. So let's see once again what we have done. Function pi by 2 minus h. Our function will be what? This function is for x is less than pi by 2. So 1 minus cos cube h, 3 sin square h. So we can express the open this identity, 1 minus cos h, a square plus b square plus ab and 3 sin square h. Here we can write same, and this sin square h will be changing 1 minus cos square h. So 1 minus cos h, it will be what? It will be cancelled, and we put the limit 0, 0, 0. We get 1 plus 1 plus 1 and 3 into 2, and it will be cancelled, and our left hand limit will be 1 by 2. Now we will find our right hand limit, okay? So our left hand limit is 1 by 2. Now right hand limit start. Function is this, we write limit s tends to 0, okay? So f pi by 2 plus h minus f pi by 2, our function will be this, so we write f pi by 2 plus h. Now limit h tends to 0, our function will be this, for x is greater than, our function is this, so we write q 1 minus sin pi by 2 plus h. Our function is q1 minus sin x, and pi minus 2, x is what? Pi by 2 plus h, and this is whole square, okay? Now we will solve it. Limit h tends to 0, q 1 minus sin 90 plus theta cos theta. So we write 1 minus cos h divided by pi minus, this will be cancelled, pi minus plus minus 2h whole square. Now what we will write? It can be written as limit h tends to 0, q 1 minus cos h, and this will be cancelled and written as 4h square, okay? Now what we will write this, h tends to 0, and this can be written as q 2 sin square h by 2 divided by 4h square, okay? Now this will be cancelled by 2. Limit h tends to 0, we write q by 2, and this is sin square h by 2, and this is h square. We can multiply it and divide with 2, 4. Here we write this, limit h tends to 0, this is q by 2 again, and this is sin h by 2 whole square into 4, okay? Now we write this term here, q by 8, limit h tends to 0, h by 2 whole square. Now this term will be 1 with the identity, so we write q by 8 into 1, okay? So our right hand limit is what? Q by 8, and our left hand limit is 1 by 2, and the value of the function is what? P. So let limit h tends to 0 at pi by 2 plus h. This is we have to find. So limit h tends to 0, our function is for x is greater than pi by 2, our function is this. So we write q1 minus sine pi by 2 plus h and pi minus 2 pi by 2 plus h. So q1 minus cos sine pi by 2 plus theta is cos theta, and pi minus, when we multiply this inside the bracket we get pi minus 2h, and you know it, pi and minus pi will cancel, we get minus 2h whole square. It will be written as 4h square, and numerator q1 minus cos h. Now this can be written as 2 sine square h by 2, and this 4 will cancel with 2, we get 2. So this is q by 2 sine square h by 2, and we are multiplying here with 4 and dividing by 4 for making the identity. So q by 2 into 4, so it can be written as sine h by 2 by h by 2 whole square. Okay, now this is q by 8, limit h tends to 0, sine h by 2 sine h by 2 whole square, and this value is 1. This is the standard result. So q by 8 into 1. So right hand limit is what? Q by 8. Left hand limit is what? 1 by 2. So we can write the value of the function at pi by 2 is equal to P. So this fx is continuous function. It is given, so we write the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value of the function, because our function is what? We have to given this function is continuous function at this point. So find the value of P and Q. So our value of the function at pi by 2 is P, and this function is continuous, so we can write left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, and this is equal to value of the function. Okay, so we write here our left hand limit and right hand limit and value of the function, and then we equate this and we will get the value of P and value of Q. Okay, so we will going to write what? Our left hand limit, which is equal to 1, so we write here 1 by 2. Okay, no doubt here. Now our right hand limit is q by 8. Okay, from here we can write our right hand limit is q by 8. Now the value of the function is P, because here we are saying that at the point pi by 2 our function is P. Okay, so now equate this. Now after equating, equate this first and third, and this is second part. First and second, we get 1 by 2 is q by 8. So q is equal to 4. Okay, now first and third, we get 1 by 2 is equal to P. So P is 1 by 2 and Q is 4. So this will be our required result. Because this function is continuous, it is given in the questions that the function is continuous at the point x is equal to pi by 2. So we can write our left hand limit and right hand limit and value of the function are equal. You have seen that we have already find our left hand limit is 1 by 2 and our right hand limit is q by 8, and value of the function is at x by 2 at x is equal to pi by 2 is P. So we can equate this all because the function is constant. So we write 1 by 2 q by 8 and P. Now we take first and second part. 1 by 2 is equal to q by 8. So 2 will be 8 will be cancelled by 2. So Q is what? Q is 4. Now we will take first and third part. We are seeing that P is equal to 1 by 2. So P is 1 by 2 and Q is 1 by 4. This will be our answer. Okay. Thank you.